99.9, the heart and soul of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. WEFM is SGG.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, SVG. So we are back with you. It's time here, and it's now 8:44, and we are back with another commentary section of our Activated Mornings program. In studio, you have Dianna, Christal, and myself, Roleza. And remember that the number to call to be interactive with us is 457-9997. We are already live on Facebook as well as YouTube. All right. So before anybody sidetracked us this morning again, we are going to.
You mean us before we sidetrack ourselves?
But you know, that's one of the. I probably shouldn't even go off on the tangent again, but that's
a good thing.
Exactly,
it's a good thing.
I was going to say it just means that it's so much easier for conversations to flow. Which makes for a lovely show, and loveliness. There are other things that I was saying.
Let's leave it right there.
I'll leave it right there.
Because we might end up doing the same thing again as before.
Mm-hmm.
And the men will get upset because of the topic that we were supposed to discuss, prostate cancer.
And women too, because to me, it is one of those. All right, so the person who's calling a city call, but I really want to jump into this topic because for me, it's really important, right? And it's not just about the men, but it's also a message for women as well, because you know how we are. Or we need to be sometimes with men. So we are jumping into our topic, and the topic is greater focus on combating prostate cancer. All right, so there's an article that's on Eyewitness News. Not going to read the whole thing, just part of it. All right, so former West Indies cricket captain Sir Clive Lloyd being presented with the Order of the Caribbean Community by CARICOM chairman Grenada's Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell on Sunday night. Let's try to be.
You can't believe. You can't be serious.
I was.
You cannot be serious.
And I will continue.
Somebody needs to get me a contact for the Prime Minister of Grenada, please, on Roleza's behalf. I don't believe this.
I don't mind that surname at all. I don't mind that surname at all.
Like she literally stopped.
No comments.
The whole show stopped by the mention of his name.
It's all right.
Oh
now that we've gotten that out of the way, I will continue to be serious.
This is
wild. So legendary former West Indies cricket captain Sir Clive Lloyd on Sunday appealed to CARICOM leaders to focus on combating prostate cancer as they had done to non-communicable diseases. Lloyd, who was one of two people to receive the region's highest award, the Order of the Caribbean Community, during the official ceremony of the opening of the 47th regional meeting, said he hoped that the same emphasis that was being placed on addressing non-communicable diseases like hypertension and diabetes is given to prostate cancer. International data shows that the Caribbean has one of the largest age-standardized prostate cancer incidences. Can I therefore make a plea to the community and relevant officials that this matter becomes the focus of urgent attention and action, said Lloyd, who captained the West Indies team, between 1974 and 1985. All right, so I'm going to just, all right, so let me continue. If I am correct, let what I said today be a call to action, because every 1 in 4, we do contract this illness, and a lot of our people are dying and dying needlessly. He said, adding, we need men to go and get tested to curb the number of deaths from prostate cancer. Just to end here as well, he told the ceremony that there are now many other improved ways of testing men over the age of 40 for prostate cancer that are more precise than blood tests, including salivary tests. All right, so I thought that this was something that was important to highlight, because we know men.
Mm-hmm.
We know how men are. We know that many Caribbean men and not very
You're on me too much.
and not very proactive about their health,
Mhm.
right? In terms of going to get checked, in terms of taking preventative steps or preventative measures. They are more reactive and they wait until it's almost at the end. And many times it's also at the prodding of somebody else, typically the female in their life, right? So it is just something that I want for us to, as a society, and this is why I said it to me, it's not just a conversation to have with men, but also with the women, because we're involved with the men, right? That we have to sort of be the advocate and have to be the push for them to sometimes do the things that they find that they need to do. Yeah.
Correct. So when I went and did a little bit of research to see what our statistics here in SVG are like, and I was surprised to know that in 2020 we were ranked number 6 in the world for prostate cancer deaths. In 2016 we were 8. We were at number 8, and then in 2020 we were number 6. And wow, with a high up. But I was also wondering if that has to do with the number of deaths as in relation to our population, because we're small.
Yeah,
Okay.
rate.
Yeah.
Right? If the say rate is more than likely per 100,000. So even though the total number might be small, per 100,000 might be high.
Yeah.
We have the argument with other things. But anyways, like just doing a quick search online to some of the symptoms, and I'm taking this from Mayo Clinic, right? You should go to your doctor if you don't feel like 100% or you don't feel well as a male. If you hear your male partner, male person, whoever, brother, cousin, uncle, father in your life like complain about certain things, maybe you should encourage them to get themselves checked out. It may not be prostate, it may be something else, but you just never know. Like generally speaking, getting men to go to the doctor is pulling teeth. It is pulling teeth. Suggesting to your male friends you don't feel good, maybe you should just stop right there. But it's really hard. So some symptoms coming from this particular website. No, it's not WebMD, so you could relax. I'm not gonna tell you you're gonna die, okay? Prostate cancer may cause no signs or symptoms in its early stages. Prostate cancer that's more advanced may cause signs and symptoms such as, this is not to put you in panic, don't take this, just for knowledge's sake. Trouble urinating, decreased force in the stream of urine, blood in the urine, blood in the semen, bone pain, losing weight without trying, erectile dysfunction. When to see a doctor, make an appointment with your doctor if you have any persistent signs or symptoms that worry you. You can, though, get regular checkups that can obviously maintain proper health, or if there's something else that's going on that's not symptomatic, they may be able to pick it up at that time in its early stages and get you some proper treatment to prevent further degradation of your health. All right. Yeah. It's in, how do you, it says blood in the semen. Do people, how you does know?
I don't know. I guess you're gonna take a look.
What do you mean?
Blood in the semen.
You don't look?
Blood in the semen.
I suppose.
Blood in the urine is easy, but blood in the semen is, well, if this is a symptom, it's a symptom.
Yeah.
Right? But men, get yourself, there's this test that they do that men are afraid of.
Yeah.
But we've seen advanced technology saying that you don't, there are other ways that you can get yourself tested. Maybe that's what they need to promote more,
Yes, because they were scared of being fiddled with. And they
no harm.
They say that it affects black men more. Yeah.
Prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, just a quick search on Google as well. There are several tests for them. There is the PSA test, biopsy. I'm not trying to embarrass myself this morning with some of these words. There's the rectal examination. There's the prostate biopsy. There's a bone scan. So there are several tests that that can be done. in terms of what we have here in SVG, that I cannot speak to. We could probably, interestingly, just to give an alert, tomorrow we will have on the program with us somebody who is actually in the recovery stages of having cancer, right? So we would have a very interesting interview with someone tomorrow at 8:05. So I guess some of these questions that we have in terms of the various tests, we would pose, or we would get that coming out of that interview tomorrow, right? But men, you have to be proactive about your health. Like I did lose a friend to cancer, and the thing of it is that cancer ran in his family, and I think that he saw signs of it, and maybe not wanting to face the reality of what possibly was, he got tested very late, right? And he wasn't physically around me at the time, so it's not to say that I could have seen the signs, etc., to maybe tell him or suggest to him or find a way to drag him, to go to a doctor. But it really hit home for me when he passed, because we were younger. We were probably like in our 30s at that time. And, just having to put a face to something like this it was really emotional for me. It still affects me today, because I think that maybe had he just gone and gotten tested early, then maybe things could have...
He was in his 30s,
He was in his 30s. Yeah, he died in his 30s. So this
It's
is why... For me, sometimes, and that's what I said, sometimes as women, we have to be the ones to advocate, to push. I mean, sometimes there's only so much you could do as well to if a man means to be headstrong and say he's not going, but we find a way.
This is very difficult as like a friend or family looking at somebody who is ailing, and there's nothing you can do about it, or two, as in to save them physically, or two, there's nothing you could do to convince them to help themselves, because they're just like set in stone, and they're just like adamant, maybe out of fear as well. They don't want to go through the rigors of like having to go to the doctor and then go in for chemo and then all these things. I've known a few people personally who have passed away from losing the battle to cancer, regrettably. I think all females, no males. But it seems as though, I don't know if it's me, these days, every time you hear somebody passing, how come? What happened? Cancer.
Cancer related.
Excuse me? That person is young, looking healthy, and what's not. Like, what is going on? It is very troubling. I'm looking forward to, as well as I'm not looking forward to tomorrow's interview. Because now I'm going to get emotional. It is going to be an emotional one. It is not a story that is shared very often. So I would encourage you to tune in tomorrow. And when we tune in, share it with somebody who it might impact. Especially for men. Women, I think, would appreciate the conversation as well. And the thing about it is that from the looks, they were extremely active.
Very healthy.
Extremely
involved
active.
in fitness. That's
Right?
the other thing,
So the cancer does not discriminate, apparently.
It doesn't.
It don't care.
All right, so we have a caller.
The
Let
things
me
we
just
eat and use.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Roleza. I know I just can't call your name properly.
Yeah,
You got it, you got
sounded
it.
correct. I didn't hear the hard emphasis on the Z, but it's okay.
Okay. Well, good morning to everyone. So I want to make 2 points. One in reference to the independence of the different country. I certainly agree with you guys that each country, no country is fully independent on its own. And I also want to say to what's the gentleman name that called in and was talking about when you go to Barbados, you speak like Bajan and as the intention, and Trinidad, you speak like Trinidadian. One of the things, I don't know if he knows, but I lived in Trinidad in the 70s for a little while. And as a Vincentian, we had to try to speak like Trinidadian to avoid immigration officers coming to hold us and deport us. But and first they put you in jail. They would, if you have money and you, they take your money. They don't allow you to go to your home to get your belongings or any of that sort. So it was important, very imperative that we try to speak like Trinidadians to just to cover, as a cover to the immigration officers. They would walk in the street and they would come up to you and they would hold a conversation with you, and they would use the conversation would include the word like say box, because Trinidadians say box, and we Vincentians say box. So that's one of the ways that they will identify you. We not only Vincentian but Grenadians as well. Barbados is the same thing. So that is that's the one point I'm making. So I hope he's listening so he understands why the intention had to change their accent, change the not the language but the accent and the what do you call it, the dialect, so that we can is a cover, it's like undercover thing. So I give Vincentian prep for that, because those days Trinidad is where you wanted to go, because they have oil and money was being made, and you would better take care of your family in that respect. Number two is in reference to the cancer. Now, doctors is good. Doctors are good. God give them knowledge and everything to, discern illnesses and come up with the right remedy. And they do have the right remedy, but they do not share the right remedy to cure your disease. What doctors do, they treat your symptoms, because if they cure your disease, they wouldn't make money. Sorry, Dr. Thompson.
Yeah.
Anyway.
LOL.
So, but let me give the Vincentians who are listening this thing. Your body will hold disease or sustain disease if the body is acidic. The more your body is acidic, the more disease will hold on to you. For you to get rid of disease, your body must be alkaline. And one of the ways to get rid of cancer is to let your food be vegetables. You can juice them, all different kind of vegetables, juice them, and just drink enough to make you feel content and full. And if you do that, you can get, I am speaking of it like this way because I know it to be a fact. There was a Guyanese guy who had stage 4 prostate cancer. And the doctor told him they can't do nothing more for him. And there's a group of Adventist people who took him and began to treat him with raw stuff. And he beat the cancer. He got rid of the cancer. So, back home we eat a lot of stuff. Diabetes is one of the things that we contracted, because everything we eat rice today, rice tomorrow, rice the next day, and so forth. And we say, oh, I don't want the rice today, I want to eat something else. What do we eat? Dashin and potato and tanya and iri and those things and banana. So we have not moved away from the starchiness of the food. We still eating starch. We constantly eating starch and so forth. And that is another thing. Again, we eat a lot of like mangoes. Mango is good, but you can't eat too much of it, because then your body becomes too sugary, and then it interfere with your what's that word that the guy died from, the Patrick Swayze. I don't know if you guys remember it. I'm trying to picture the name, but your pancreas, right? So your pancreas now cannot produce the insulin that it's supposed to, and then you end up with diabetes. So it all has to do with diet. Now, from a biblical standpoint, when God created man, he said to Adam, he says, of all the tree of the garden I give you for meat. Okay, so the thing is that the fruits and the vegetables are for meat, but we find ourselves, our taste bud get messed up by eating. Like I know when I back home, when I was growing up home, one I'm from Layu, in my hometown, I could remember on the one person I know was very big because everybody was, and here's another thing, exercise. So you eating all this food or we're not exercising, especially the younger generation and so forth. So we need to make a transition, take serious note of what we eat, and we will live healthy and live long. The other day I just saw a video, a lady from Jamaica, 141 years old. I
Excuse
said,
me.
what? That's what I said. 141 years old, and she has no illness. She has no disease, not high blood pressure, not diabetes, none of those things she has because she lives in the hills. She lives in the mountain, and she eats fresh things. She just eats fruits and vegetables and all these things, and she remain healthy. But God said that God says eat of the fruit of the trees for meat, and by reason I give you 70 years to live, but by reason of strength 4 score. 80. My father is 84 right now. My grandfather died at 93. Um, I have an uncle who is 82, and I'm gonna name his name because everybody knows him. Um, so I just called to share with you these principles and ideas, and hopefully people would listen and make transition in their dietary lifestyle.
Okay. All
God bless you
righty.
guys.
All right. Thanks
Thank
very much.
you.
All right.
That
You're
caller
welcome.
spoke a lot of truths, a lot of truths. Um, the Seventh Day Adventist Church has this thing that is called the health message, and it's a really good message. He did mention it. I'm actually happy. I was pleased to hear him mention it because they talk about it all the time, the things we should eat and what we shouldn't eat. But the thing with us people, we sweet mouth, right? So we eat a lot, and a lot of the food that makes us sick is promoted. And I can't. I don't want to go on with this because then it's going to go into sorting things and basically money run things. So for me personally, while we know that this is not good for us, it's going to continue to be made. The persons making it know it's not good for us. Those selling it know it's not good for us. It's gonna continue to be made. It's going to continue to be sold because money has to be made. And
Yeah.
stay right there for now. Yeah.
All right. And we definitely have to stay right there.
But-
The time is 9:06. All right. So we are going to jump into our ECCB bank rates. And of course, more of this discussion will take place tomorrow in our scheduled interview. All right. So jumping into our bank rates at this time.